Alrighty, we just finished Doctor Who, Season 13, Pyramids of Mars. Oh my god, great fucking episode. Well, in what, 6 parts? 6 parts?
It was 4, I think.
Yeah, 4 episodes, yeah.
4 parts, yeah. And less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was like watching a movie.
It was wild.
It was something.
This is probably, now I know City of Death is the best episode. It is.
Yeah.
But I like this one more because of the pyramid stuff and the Egyptian stuff.
Right.
And all that stuff.
No, it was cool,
but
man.
That doesn't mean City of Death isn't.
It doesn't minimize.
No.
Because this one's its own thing.
Yeah. This one
And
is really funky.
Tom Baker,
Of course.
everybody's favorite doctor.
The Doctor. That's.
I mean,
Yeah.
The other doctors were good, but
I do like the second and the third and the sixth and seventh.
John Pertwee was
Yeah.
different.
He was a granny, but yeah.
Tom Baker, if he's not your favorite, then you're not a Whovian.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, dude, what, 1975?
Yes. And they were
when they did this?
Yes, and they were
right in the middle, or right at the
the new wave of
the whole pyramid craze thing that was going on.
Yeah.
Right around the time that King Tut was like, the Tut exhibit was touring.
Hot again, yeah.
And the whole pyramid thing was going on. And so this one, it made sense that they would do an episode like this at that time.
Oh,
see,
now Eric went deep and hard into, puncture the kidneys, turn the insides into black pudding. I didn't give a ferret's fuck. I just liked, Egyptian, it's pyramids,
yes.
And it's aliens, and it's Mars, and it's all sorts of wild shit. And it was great. Now think of
it was all that.
Yeah, think of it. A very young Tom watching this.
Oh yeah,
just woo, yeah, like wild.
So the Doctor had to take on Suket, last of the Osirans.
Yes. So since the Doctor does this quite a bit with the last of different species, is he a genocider because he kills the last of? I'm not judging. I'm not saying. But some of the more modern people would say that he's a killer, he's a destroyer.
That he's committed genocide.
Yes, because
by taking out the last surviving member of a given species.
So many different species. Yeah.
I don't know if that would qualify. I guess it would have to depend on your definition of genocide.
Or your certain point of view.
From your point of view, yes, because
if we took the
genocide is taking out an entire population. No, I know, and I see what you're saying, but
well, I'm not saying it. I've heard this, and I'm like,
no, but I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I see where that. Yeah, people would perceive it that way. It's just a fucking story, man. None of this shit exists. It's all made up.
Write something better, sweethearts.
Right. I mean, the Doctor, he's ruthless when he needs to be.
He's great, and he's such a smartass too.
Yes.
Especially, and Eric kind of got sweet on Sarah Jane.
Oh, yeah, she's a cutie pie, man. Especially in that long white dress when she had to hike it up and run with it. Yeah, dude.
Actually, I thought it was only cool when she held that long rifle.
Oh yeah, dude. No.
Cool. And she's a crack shot, too.
Yes.
Don't fuck about.
So she's not just eye candy. She's,
If you say so. It's not my cup of Darjeeling, but, whatever.
I don't know. She just got that girl next door thing about her.
I get it, yeah.
She's not, strikingly, stand out in a crowd, but she's a cutie pie. Anyway.
Eric's got to find love every series. There's some new gal that he's just smitten over.
I can't help myself,
right?
Gotta love those gals. Anyway,
there were a couple that were really like the one that was she was dressed like an Amazon all the time.
Yeah,
she was an early Tom Baker one.
Yes,
and I think they didn't like each other at all. I mean, they really
personally.
Yes, personally. And then the one Romana. The second Romana, they were banging, and I guess they went out for a while. Well, no, this also goes to, I was watching something else on YouTube, and, they all talk about how fucking Roddenberry's this saint and blah, blah, blah. No, he
was not a saint by any stretch.
He was married, and he was going out with Majel Barrett, and he was banging,
he was having an affair with Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah. It's like Sweet Baby Christ on Sunday.
I mean, that is pretty much how she got the role of Uhura, was that she was
but hold on,
sleeping with him at the time.
But those abs, I'm just saying.
No, still.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No,
yeah.
but that was her foot in the door, so to speak.
But he had the brass ticky tacks to say, "Oh, hey, Major Barrett, you and Nichelle, why don't we get a 3-way going?" Woo!
No, he was not the.
No, I know.
No, he was not the pinnacle of morality that people
virtue or
whatever that he put into the series.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to associate the values and idealism of the series with Gene Roddenberry personally, and no he was not that kind of. No, he was not that. And so what? No, he didn't put any of that into the series.
But I just found it. I was like, I didn't know about that. I'm off in La La Land, worrying about Type M warp cores and field stripping.
And really, props and respect to Roddenberry for pushing the Star Trek thing through when he did, and how he put it together. And it was his idea, but it wasn't just him that made it work.
Yeah.
But no, you want to say that he was the pinnacle of humanity that he portrayed on his series. Yeah. That's two different things.
But I find it funny that all these new Star Trek people don't just try to rip him a new one about all that.
Well, they need to read some, like, the real biography of him and whatever.
And then you said the magic word, read.
Yeah, right?
Reading's too much like work. So.
Reading is fundamental, man.
I'm just saying. Anyway.
Okay, back to Doctor Who, though. Dude, it was killer.
I just loved all of it.
Sutek's
outfit,
wardrobe was killer.
That helmet.
Yes.
I got to make I think I'm going to make a 3 3/4 and a 6-inch scale figure.
No, it was cool, and
even maybe do a costume to wear.
And it
looks really heavy. I want to make it. That fabric looked really industrial. Like they just wrapped some shit and stapled it up and cast a plaster helmet and Bob's your uncle, and there you go.
Well, he was immobile for most of it, so all he had to do was sit in that throne. Yeah. It wasn't like he had to move around in that thing.
Right?
It was kind of cumbersome. But you could do
the 4 doctors. The 4 doctors or the 5 doctors. That outfit, the bad guy from that. Tell us in the comments who's the bad guy from that episode. That's a hell of an outfit too. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. Yeah. As a retired supervillain or semi-retired, I enjoy other villains' costumes. Like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
just saying, can't be a hater all the time.
Right? No, man, the villains got to
come correct,
present themselves, in a way that people will appreciate, respect, whatever. Yeah. I mean, if you show up looking like, the polka dot man.
Polka dot man, yeah.
Who's gonna take that guy serious?
No, or kite man. Oh.
Right, but you show up as
Red Death or fucking A. Megatron, Cobra Commander, even Serpentor, even though he's like hot dogs made out of assholes. Anyway, no, I love this episode.
No,
all the Tom Baker ones are great, but this is a really excellent episode.
It was produced in 1975, but it took place in 1911, where all the Egyptian artifacts were just being discovered.
Yes, and it was based on the grounds of where UNIT later exists.
Yes,
yeah. So that was fun, kind of twisty tie thing. Yeah,
to tie that together. Yeah, make a connection, connect a dot. And it just the whole thing with Sutek and his knowledge of the Time Lords, and even was aware of his homeworld of Gallifrey.
Yeah,
and he was the last of the Osirans. Like, was he the last surviving?
I don't know.
Member of a species?
Tell us in the comments, because he shows up in comic books. And stuff. You'd said he showed up in comic books. Yeah.
So I guess this was his only appearance in the series proper.
Yeah.
but there were other appearances in comic book stories and radio drama.
So was he
maybe expanded on Sutekh a little bit?
Answer Eric's question for us. Was he the last?
Have you seen or heard any of that stuff? Because I haven't. But
wait till we get into the history of the Cybermen. That's gonna fuck with your mind.
Yeah, dude. But just as just a standalone story like this, it was great.
Great, excellent.
You know, with the Egyptian and the pyramids and the pyramids on Mars and all that stuff, especially right at the height of the pyramid craze in the 70s, it totally made sense that they would do an episode like this, and they did a good. It didn't suck.
All right, tell us what you think. Like, share, subscribe.